All right, world-class athlete, you are now ready to master the world-class two-part acceleration, which is gonna allow you to start generating so much massive power and satisfaction and ultimately be able to crush your forehand with that confidence so you can feel extremely proud of yourself every time you play. So this is gonna be by far the best drill video in the entire system because the acceleration is really the fundamental and the key for you to leveling up your forehand. So what I've done in this video is I've broken down your progression process in this drill video into 3 sections, where in the first section of this video, where I'm gonna assume also you're on the court with me right now, feeling energized, feeling ready to level up and grow your forehand at unparalleled levels of pace. Now, the first part of this video, we're gonna be mastering your ability to perform the 2 key anatomical motions of the arm, the hitting arm structure, on the ATP world-class forehand, which is gonna be the adduction and the flexion. In other words, this is your arm traveling up and away from your body, following that arc path that you learned about in the previous video, the when, what, and why. Now, these 2 motions are powered predominantly by your pec muscle and your anterior delt. So what ultimately, when you're accomplishing these motions, it's gonna feel like you're activating that part of your shoulder and your pec muscle going forward into the ball. In the second section of this video, you're gonna then take those 2 key anatomical motions and you're then gonna develop your kinetic chain, which is your leg drive and your torso rotation, combining with the pec and shoulder to hit with that huge amounts of kinetic energy going forward into the ball. In the third and final section, after you've mastered both the adduction flexion and the kinetic chain, you're then gonna master that satisfying ATP racket flip, which is gonna create that stretch and shorten cycle, giving you even more forward force into the ball at contact. So let's go ahead and dive right in, where we're gonna master the adduction and the flexion. So go ahead and just set your racket down for this first part of the drill video, and we're just gonna make sure that you can execute the correct motion of your arm before we start hitting balls in the next videos. What you wanna focus on is go ahead and get set on the court right now, set up in a nice comfortable wide semi-open stance. Now from here, position your arm as though you were gonna achieve the perfect backswing position. You should be able to see your knuckles and your thumb should be pointed up towards that side fence just like that. Beautiful. Now from here, go ahead and execute the adduction of your arm and the flexion of your arm. So in other words, your arm should go from this position to an up and away position, where now your thumb should be pointed towards the side fence and your arm should be in a higher position. And then lastly, finish with your arm pointed towards the net, just like that. So you should see that thumb pointing towards the net, just like that. So these 2 key motions, that's your forehand right there. Now, there is variation, right? The bent arm, the straight arm. For right now, we're just gonna be executing it even simpler so you can master it step by step. So again, having that perfect preparation, perform that adduction and flexion very smoothly. Now the key checkpoint is just to see your arm completely straight as we're executing this motion, where it's essentially traveling 180 degrees. Started from pointing from the back fence, traveling up and away, and then towards the net, just like that. So let's go ahead and a few more motions. Good, feeling that pec and shoulder activate. All right, now what I want you to do is go ahead and close your eyes, execute the same motion, stop at the transition point, open your eyes and see, is your arm straight pointed towards that side fence? If it is, excellent work. Now, same thing, close your eyes all the way through, point towards the net, look, is it? Great. So now you're building that kinesthetic awareness of what you want to be doing and what your arm actually is doing. Excellent. So now you've got an understanding and a mastery over the adduction flexion. Let's grab that racket. So in this next section, with the racket, we're now gonna emphasize accelerating using these 2 key motions, but in an even simplified manner. So what you're gonna focus on doing now is go ahead and achieve your perfect backswing position, which you have by mastering the other elements in this system. And go ahead and already start in what's known as the pre-flip position. So start with your racket already pointed towards the side fence, just like that. Excellent. Now from here, your focal point is to pull the arm up, away, and forward, stopping at the transition point. From this position, you should be able to see your knuckles. You should be able to see the racket face pointed down towards the court surface, just like that. Excellent. Let's do that a few more times. Up and away. Stop. Beautiful. Looking at that perfect transition point. Perfect. Keeping the arm straight, keeping it very simple. Excellent. Now let's go ahead and smoothly and slowly go all the way forward into our perfect contact point, where the racket strings are now going to face the net just like that. That's perfect. Let's do a few more reps, watching the arm go up and away from the body with a closed racket. There's the transition point. There's the contact. Good. Few more. Up and away, transition point, contact point. Beautiful. Up and away, transition point, contact point. Excellent. Now go ahead and close your eyes. Execute that perfect motion. Swing at roughly 50% speed. Find the contact. Open your eyes. Great. We see it. Let's go. 3 more. Close the eyes. Contact. We see it. Close the eyes. Forward. Contact. We see it. Beautiful. Last one. Find that contact. Excellent. All right. So now you're literally ready to start hitting world-class forehands if you can execute this with an actual match play position. Now that we have the anatomical motion of adduction and flexion added in, let's go ahead and put together that world-class kinetic chain. So the key focal point now is continually starting in that pre-flip position. Go ahead and get your left arm stretched across your body and your knees bent at roughly a 45-degree angle. Now from here, what you'll see with the end game vision is that your legs are going to drive, your body is going to rotate, the arm is going to tuck in, and the arm is going to pull all the way through contact. Brilliant. So now let's execute that motion slow. Leg drive, rotation, pull. Check yourself at the transition point. Is that racket face closed? Can you see your knuckles? Excellent. Arm is going forward into contact. Another key checkpoint here to focus on is with that left arm, make sure when you drive the leg and rotate, you're tucking that left arm right in so it's nice and snug next to that body. That's going to increase your rotational speed. Excellent. Let's do about 5 more. Tucking that arm in, finishing at contact, feeling the leg and body pull first. Excellent. Let's go 3 more, 2, and then last shot right here. Beautiful. All right, so after implementing these drills, reviewing yourself on camera, you should be able to see that leg drive, that rotation, and then that pulling of the arm away from the body with the wrist lag position, and then finishing at the perfect contact, just like that. So now that this is mastered, we're ready to piece it all together and generate the perfect ATP racket flip. All together, when you finish these 3 drill videos, you're gonna be able to step on the court with that flip, generating a leg drive and create massive topspin, just like that into your shot. So, how does the ATP racket flip feel like? And ultimately, what is your experience gonna look like, sound like, and just be like once you have all this mastered? So the key checkpoint is, once you've achieved, let's go ahead and execute that perfect backswing position. Now what's gonna happen is we're gonna keep our wrist very, very relaxed. So in this first drill, go ahead and grip the racket just with your index and your middle finger, just like that, with the racket tip at that perfect backswing position. From here, you're gonna focus on driving your legs first, rotating, and achieving that adduction flexion. There we go, all the way through. Now, as you're doing this, you should be able to feel the racket lag back naturally as it pulls forward. So let's go and execute a few more reps, making sure you're doing leg drive, rotation, adduction, flexion. Brilliant. So you should be able to see now as you swing, looking at your racket, you should see as you go forward, the racket's gonna lag behind with a very loose and relaxed position. Lagging behind, gripping it should feel excellent in those big muscles. Good, let's do 2 more. Perfect, backswing, set, accelerate. Great, now we're gonna go ahead and increase the pace. And your primary focal point here, and this is truly what allowed me personally to transform my forehand, is once you drive the legs and rotate, you're gonna pull your arm up and away, and right when you do that, that racket is gonna create that counter force, which is gonna create a stretching sensation in your pec and shoulder. If you feel that stretching sensation, you know you're doing everything perfectly. So go ahead and get in that backswing position. We're now gonna swing at full speed, 100%. Leg drive, rotation, pull, feel the stretch in the shoulder. Leg drive, rotation, pull, feel the stretch in the shoulder. You should feel it very, very pronounced in that shoulder muscle because we're activating the pec and the anterior delt. So feel it in that pec, feel it in that anterior delt, just like that. Ready, 1 more? Beautiful. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna have you grip your racket fully, and we're now gonna execute 10% all the way up to 100% shadow swings. And we're gonna do that all the way until we get to full speed. Then we'll use video, evaluate we're hitting those key checkpoints, and then you'll know whether or not you're ready for the more advanced drills. So in this next set, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna do split, unit turn, backswing. From here, assess yourself perfect. Leg drive rotation, pull up and away. Contact, follow through. Brilliant. Split, gradually increasing the pace, making sure you're executing the perfect technique every time. Split, leg drive, rotation, pull. Gradually increasing that pace, visualizing perfect performance the next time you step out on the court. Here, set, leg drive, pull. All right, awesome. Now what I want you to do is go ahead and close your eyes. Split, unit turn backswing, accelerate, stop at the transition point, and look, is the arm straight? Is the racket closed? Can you see your knuckles? If so, excellent. Ready? Let's go and execute that one more time. Split, close the eyes, unit turn, backswing, acceleration, stop. You have that checkpoint. You're now ready. Go ahead and stop this video, set up your tripod behind, and execute full speed shadow swings, assessing your technique. Now, what's so awesome about this system is once you assess your technique, all you have to do is identify, are you achieving those key checkpoints covered in the when, what, and why? If you aren't, you know exactly what to focus on in the next set of shadow swings. Once you can execute the technique perfectly, I'll see you in drill video number 2, where we're gonna start hitting some balls with that world-class acceleration. I'm so optimistic about your game. Believe in yourself, believe that you can develop that technique. I'll see you in drill video 2. Let's get it.